video with me, Shruti. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So, this is a video that I'm going to be making about the resources that you can use, especially books that you can use that can help you along your journey of finding your soul heritage. That have to do with starseed codes, that have to do with these galactic codes, cosmic codes, whatever you want to call it. But we're all when we're born for the first time, from all that is from source energy, we all have this signature that we're born with, and you might be a human in this lifetime, but it may be that you were born as something else, as your original purpose, that you're always going to carry that blueprint. So you might take different forms in different lifetimes, because that is what consciousness does, to explore itself. But that original code, that blueprint, what is it? What kind of a being we are within creation? So there's different kinds of beings that exist within creation. And I speak about this on my channel, so it's not new information here. These books can basically bring you some remembrance into that, or at least they're books that I like that speak about this information. So today I'm going to be sharing that with you. If that's what you're interested in, then please subscribe to this channel and you can continue watching. And I also wanted to say, before I jump into this video, I've made a previous video before this, and that was generally speaking about the qualities, about the spiritual journey and books related to that, ascended mastery in this new age, books that have to do with that, not specific to any starseed purpose, but just how self-mastery is happening now, the spiritual principles, as they relate to creation, and books that I recommended for all of those things, for coming into truth, for learning about spiritual principles and how the creation is how it's created and how everything is within it. So let's now finally jump into this video. So I brought along a few books or resources that I have, with me, but what I'm recommending is not specifically these books per se, but these authors, because I feel that these authors are coming from truth. What they're sharing is balanced. And so the first author that I want to share is Dolores Cannon, and you may have heard of her because she's very popular, but she passed on a few years ago, very recently. But she made what she did was she did this work, hypnotic work, and she would put people under hypnosis and find out what about their past lives and stuff. And what she found was that there was a pattern that was there. All of them were speaking about, not all of them, but many of them were speaking about something quite different that she hadn't heard before, that they had existed in other planes, not just on the earth. It wasn't like reincarnation, it wasn't like the cycle of death and rebirth on the earth, like reincarnation as most humans identify with. But these were different souls, and there were many and many of them. So she started finding this pattern, because they would under this hypnotic state, they would reveal things, these deep memories that they had, and they didn't know that they were doing it, of course, because it's the method that she was using would prevent that. But when they all started describing something so similar, and these different dimensions within creation, and speaking of how creation is in similar terms, then she started finding a pattern. So she found that there were there were these souls called the volunteer souls that were not of the earth. What that means is that their original, when they were birthed, it wasn't on the earth. They might be here on the earth now, of course, in a human body, as the person speaking to her, as her client, but it wasn't their original thing. And they even remembered what the reason was why they came to earth at this time, why now, to what is their mission, and how they entered and stuff like that. So anyway, if you're interested in something like that, because she speaks about, so she gradually found that there's 3 waves of these volunteer souls, you know, or star seeds, whatever you want to call them. And you know, so yeah, she has lots of different books, and all of them are describing their journey, and so yeah, that can help you with some remembrance as well. So yeah, check out Dolores Cannon's work. She also has a YouTube channel, so check that out, you know. And then another, okay, I'll share one more book with you first. So the next is the work of this one, Lisa Royal, Lyssa Royal, Lisa Royal. And I haven't actually read this book. I haven't had a chance to. I've had it for years and years, but I've heard good things about this book, and I resonate with her work otherwise because I've worked with her cards. She has these this Galactic Heritage deck, and it's this really nice deck that has you know, that comes with a book of its own, quite a thick book, and you know, whatever card you pick, for example, let me just pick a card right now. So it says here, look, Orion. At the bottom it'll say Orion. So like that, there's different star systems, you know. Let's see, here there's Lyra, for example. So she speaks in this book briefly about the different kinds of beings within creation, the different realms, you know, like the founders, Andromeda, Arcturus, Lyra, Vega, Zeta Reticuli, Orion, Pleiades, Earth, Sirius, you know, there's so many. Just in the description of the cards, you know, there's some history that's there as well, and it focuses on you know, the history that these star systems have also had. You know, it's not just the Earth that's had its history, it's also these star systems have had a history. You know, there were wars that were fought not just on this planet but at a galactic level as well. And so different people carry, different beings, they carry certain memories, you know, certain imbalances as well, you know, that relate to not just what happened on the Earth but at a galactic level too. And it's also imprinted in the memory of the humans that have lived here for so long, because in past eras they also interacted with these beings, and now, you know, these beings are back, you know, in human form, these volunteer souls, and I identify as one as well. And it's nothing ungrounded, you know. When you come to think of it, you know, it's not that far a stretch that there would be other life forms that exist just in the universe that we know through science. You know, there's so much we don't know, but even in what we know, how can it be that we are the only intelligent life form, you know? And so and how can it be that, you know, only what we see, we hear, like the 5 senses is what exists? There has to be more. Perhaps there's more senses, you know, that we are not aware of, and beings exist within, that can be perceived within those senses, you know. And they have different properties, different purposes, you know, and yeah, just different memories, different lives that they've had in different dimensions. It can't be that, you know, this little planet that we have is all that there is. So but now, because there's such a big shift in consciousness that's happening on the planet, it's a times like these are when, you know, there's help available from all over the cosmos. And Earth is actually where it's happening the most rapidly. You know, it's one of the focuses of the whole of creation. That's how Dolores Cannon in her work also describes it, that it's like the focus of creation, you know, because there's so much deep and fast transformation that's happening here now. And on Earth we get to experience this diversity, you know, it's like this melting pot with lots of different civilizations, and they've existed in different timelines, and they have different memories, and now we're all getting to, you know, in human bodies meet and also influence, you know, just the consciousness of humans, this shift. But of course we have to do that ourselves first, you know. You have to begin just like anyone else, and you know, embrace this humbling process. So of course not everybody has starseed codes, and that's fine, you know. You don't, it's not nothing that is higher than humans. It's only higher, like in terms of there can be higher planes, but it's not better in any way. You know, lower planes are not any worse than the higher planes. They're just different dimensions, that's it. Humans have this sense of, you know, lack of self-worth, so they think that if somebody thinks that they belong from somewhere else, then they think too much of themselves, or you know, there can be this thing that, you know, there's this angelic realm that's better than us and human realms that are not. That's not true. You know, humans are one of the most powerful beings, you know, within creation that were created. They have such a large, massive creative power, and also they have dealt with the densest forms, you know, within the densest part of creation, experimented with it. They were the first to like come out into these far off planes that are where there's darkness, and they've come here and kind of like mastering this physical energy and you know, creating in it. That's what real magic is, you know. So there's all of these beautiful qualities that humans have. They're actually really powerful. And it's just, you know, different beings just come at different times and remind, we all help each other, remind each other, just like your friends would in your life. You know, it's just a short, like, blink of an eye that the whole lifetime of Earth has been so far. So people, you know, lose perspective and they forget that. So don't try and attach, you know, your identity to something that you're not. These memories, they awaken from within at an organic level. But reading, you know, if you have an inkling or something is drawing your attention, then these resources that I'm sharing with you can further help you for those memories to surface. And just be grounded with it. Don't try and force anything. You know, if things are occurring on their own, then let them surface and see where it takes you. You know, what opens up. But just know that, you know, even though there's many volunteer souls, it's not as if there's so many that they outnumber the humans, or, you know, they're still relatively fewer in numbers. So most people don't have these codes, but they have the same potential, though we all have the same potential. It's that we're all activating multidimensionality, this multidimensional potential, and whatever our core frequency is, how we were born, you know, first, as we use those qualities and these multidimensional talents that we have gathered, and you know, we explore, we kind of grow, you know. So it's really exciting, and each kind of being contributes in a different way and is equally important and equally powerful, really. But anyway, no matter how much I say that and stress on it, you know, some people are still going to take it in whichever form that they want, you know, rejecting this human form and kind of in pursuit of that, seeing something else, you know, as better. But anyway, so Lisa or Lisa, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, Royal, has these resources, and she has this book called The Prism of Lyra, where she speaks, I think it's like the story of, again, you know, the star systems, what happened. Let's see what the names of the chapters are, because I also have not read this book, but it says an exploration of human galactic heritage. And some of the names of the chapters, let me find it. Dimensional Infusion, Creation of the Galactic Family, The Womb of Lyra, The Sirius Factor, The Winds of Orion, Earth's Pleiadian Cousins, The Gateway of Arcturus, Earth Inceptions, and Zeta Reticuli, Integration. Then there's a part 2 again, you know, yeah, I think that's the majority of it. There's something called A Galactic Creation Story. So so if that's what you're interested in, you can also check this out. I do resonate with her work, so I do hope to read this book, and I'm sure I'll like it. So these are some, you know, just some resources. I've shared 2 of them with you today, but check out the other books, that other video that I made where I speak about some other authors like Sal Kelly. His books also focus, you know, they focus more on spiritual principles, but they also have stuff related to these different here, just as I am saying that this chapter opens up life on other worlds, like there's Pleiades, Jupiter, Saturn, Earth, I can't even pronounce some of them. Orion system, and yeah. So because all of these beings, they they resonate with this new earth type of spirituality, rather than what we've known so far in so many centuries on the earth, how the spiritual masters were speaking. But this is like new spirituality, which integrates the old, the ancient, with the future, because time doesn't really exist, and they understand that, and it's really just about those memories of the future and the past coming together, if you know what I mean. So I think yeah, these are the authors that I really just wanted to share with you. Let me know if you've read them before, and what you think, and I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to leave them at the bottom of this video, or any suggestions for me to make videos. So that's it. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.